Also revenge. That takes a lot out of you. Let me get a swig real quick. That's some good high quality H2O. All right, Jigsaw, I completed another task. Let me go. I'm tired, man. I'm sick of your games. Let me go. I've earned it. Get your ass in here.
Congratulations, Bert. You are still alive, but you're not done yet. For your next journey, you're going to need to pack your Voorhees burgers because you're going to be going to hell with my friend Jason. Of course, I'm talking about Jason Goes to Hell. And this time, one of your friend's fate hangs in the balance. Are you willing to save your friend by watching this movie, Bert?
Who'd you get?
Who's coming to the door?
Oh, you got him?
Of course I did, and it was easy.
So it's between him and Jason Goes to Hell, right?
Of course, if you watch Jason Goes to Hell in its entirety, he will be set free.
I fucking refuse. You could go ahead and kill him. I don't give a shit. I ain't watching that piece of shit.
You fucking motherfucker!
Well, fuck you too, buddy. Like, I ain't watching that movie.
I did not see this coming, but so be it. He will meet his demise at this time.
I don't want to play anymore.
See, like, that doesn't bother me. Like, I'm tired of your games, man.
I'm sorry about your friend, Bert. I really am. His death was truly unfortunate because you're still going to have to watch Jason Goes to Hell to get out of this room.
You son of a bitch! You tricked me!
Live or die, Bert. Make your choice.
Oh, God!
What's going on, guys and gals, and welcome to Good Reel Hunting, where we hunt for the good reels so you don't have to. It's your boy Brad. The Brett Man is right over here, and we're continuing our Saw journey today with Saw 4. We are getting up in the ranks. We've done our first 3 reviews already. The link for those will be over Brett's head, so if you haven't seen them, be sure to check them out because we've had a good time so far. And of course, we'll be finishing these out by the time Spiral comes out in May, and then we'll have a ranking. So it's going to be a good time. Brett, how are you today? Are you excited about Saw 4 or what?
Dude, I'm always ready for Saw movies, and 4 was another nice installment. And you can even say it was the start of another trilogy within the franchise too.
It absolutely was, man. You got that 4, 5, and 6 trio, which actually, yeah, you said it best, is penciled in right here at the beginning. It's awesome.
Or we call it the Hoffman era.
Exactly. The era of the Hoffman. Not Hasselhoff, Hoffman. But anyway, do you want to get us started on a little bit of the movie facts here?
Yeah, sure. Let's go with the cast. That is one of my favorite jobs to do in this. So let's go with the obvious cast member of Tobin Bell as John Kramer, a.k.a. Jigsaw. But he's a little bit dead in this one, so you'll probably not see his body too much in this. So we got him. We got Costas Mandalore, which is Hoffman, and we got Scott Patterson, Betsy Russell, and Lyric Bent, and it's directed by Darren Lynn Bousman.
All right, another entry by Darren Lynn Bousman. Obviously, he did 2 and
3.
Yeah, okay, so this is him capping off. He's done after this one, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. This is his last one, or does he do 5 as well?
I can check on you real quick. I got a press of a button here.
Oh yeah, his name is Jeff.
Yep, you're correct.
Okie dokie, cool. So okay, let's just start off with this thing. And so obviously this one is about essentially it's Jigsaw dies in the 3rd one, right? You know, that's the blood coming out. And then this one starts off with Rig, the SWAT guy that gets it's his turn for a test. So he gets captured, gets run through this little testy test, and he's got to save Eric Matthews in time before his head gets chopped off.
And Detective Hoffman.
And Detective Hoffman from Smashing Ice and then Electrocution and all this cool stuff, and it's a good time. We'll get into it, man. Well, you want to talk about
some of the positives?
Some of the positives, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go with the first main positive, as always, how we start this off. Let's go with Tobin Bell as freaking Jigsaw, man.
Totally,
anytime he's on the screen, he captivates like the presence and the feel of the movie. Plus, he just does a phenomenal job with John Kramer, with the John Kramer character as well. And I love the scenes where they interviewed Jill, which is the ex-wife of John Kramer. I just love all the interactions between John and Jill, just to kind of like sell the relationship that they once had until all hell breaks loose about what happened. And it was a good origin story too, kind of like the whole purpose. And we actually get to see Billy the Puppet for the first time ever when it was first made.
Absolutely, yeah, I like that. All the little flashbacks they do in here is fantastic with Tobin Bell and you get a little bit more of his backstory and his interactions with Jill. It's excellent, and then you see his very first trap that he does on Cecil, right? And,
yes,
yeah,
the knife chair.
Oh yeah, he said, "Press hard, and you'll release those shackles." And then he tried, but then it broke. And yeah, that was a whole cool sequence. I like that. I like seeing that quite a bit.
And it made sense too, because that was his very first trap, and your first trap is never going to go the smoothest.
It was very cool to see it because it didn't go as expected. A, B, he didn't even get a chance to use his little voice. Like you saw him practicing it, like he's working on it. But by the time Cecil woke up and he was there, so he's like, I'm going to go ahead and just tell you what your game is without worrying about the Jigsaw voice. So I thought that was kind of cool. Just, it was an imperfect trap and things went pretty smoothly, I thought, overall. I mean, at the end of the day, still got the job done, right? So, so not so much for Cecil, but for Jigsaw.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And another positive about this movie, too, is our introduction to Detective Strom and Perez. I thought they
agents.
The agents, not detectives. My apologies. But yeah, I thought they were nice inclusions to the next step of this franchise too. Because okay, well, the police ain't getting it done. The detectives are not getting it done. Who can we call next? Let's call the freaking FBI and see if they can figure shit out. And
FBI.
Yeah. So again, Perez to me is it's good looking, and Strom plays a very strong character in this movie. As well, I'm sure we'll get back to him later on in this review series. But they did a really good job here, and of course, let's go ahead and give another small little positive to Hoffman.
Oh yeah, he's huge.
Good old Detective Hoffman. He did a very good job in this movie. I'm just going with the story of the flow of the movie, and I was really impressed.
I was too. Of course, that was his introduction. I think overall the cast in general is a positive here. I think everybody does a good job, from Larique Bent to Costas Mandalore. Scott Patterson does a great job. This is some of my favorite characters in the franchise that we're getting introduced to here in this movie. We got a slight introduction to Hoffman in the third one, but this is where you see a little bit more of him. And I absolutely love Peter Strom and his character. I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, because you have him high on your top 10 character list too.
I sure did. Yeah, he was great. I really enjoyed seeing him. I thought he did for being the fourth and fifth entries of the Saw movies, like. He brings a lot to the table in this, and this is where you really get to see that. And Donnie Wahlberg comes back for a little bit, so that was always kind of cool too.
Oh, good old Donnie, man, Detective Matthews.
Absolutely, dude. But yeah, the cast in general is fantastic. I like it. There's actually some pretty good cinematography in this one as well. In particular, the room where Detective Matthews is hanging up, he's chilling out. And then Hoffman's in there. There's some cool colors in there. It's kind of greenish hue with the fan spinning in the back. Just a nice little set design, and the way they shot that was really well done. I think overall, I really like that. And the same thing with the autopsy at the beginning. Good
Yeah.
effects. That was
It's
great
like we
effects.
gotta show off those practical effects, man.
Yeah, that was a good portion of that, and also the color tone they used in that scene was nice. It was kind of muted, and I liked
Mhm.
I liked the effect that brought as well. And yeah, man, I think like you mentioned it already, but the Tobin Bell stuff, the backstory to Jigsaw was nice because you see a different side to him at this point. You know, you kind of start to see it in the third one, but now you're really kind of seeing what his motivations were and what really led him to go down this path and stuff. Although, of course, I don't buy the fact that he was 52 years old, like they said in his autopsy. I think he's definitely older than that.
Yeah,
But
I think he's so.
but it was cool. I liked it, man. All seeing all that stuff was fun.
Yeah, and another I'll say another positive too. Like like half of it. I thought the Riggs story was interesting. It was unique because like we've seen Riggs and we've seen him in 2 and we've seen him in 3, but this is like solely his movie, and I feel like they built him up to where he actually earns this role in this movie. So, and
Yeah.
I liked how they kind of like his motivations of like he wants to try to save everybody. And he has a hard time of letting go, and I love
Yeah.
the whole like trap inspiration for that.
For sure, and I like the ending too. Not half the ending anyway. Sorry, before I get into that, Rig was fantastic. You're absolutely right. I enjoyed his ride and going through that and kind of just him encountering the next steps of the game and him making his decision on what to do. But I was going to say the ending, the decision to make this parallel to episode 3, Saw 3, and then you don't find that out until the end. I thought that was really creative, and I thought that, especially showing that autopsy at the beginning, you're like, oh yeah, okay, we're after Saw 4. This is natural, right? He's dead as a mofo. But then you keep running through the thing, and as you find out later that everything is running at the same time. I always thought that was a nice little twist.
Yeah, so was it kind of like a prequel to 3, or like
Same time. It's everything's just kind of going at the same time.
Yeah.
2 different games, 2 different processes, and then at the end is when it all kind of comes together.
Yeah, so like overall, like the story wise, I was really into it. Like I was fully invested in what they were trying to tell.
Right. Yeah.
Especially that third act.
Yeah, the third act was pretty banging, man. Once everything kind of comes together.
Yeah, where Detective
Who's
Matthews
coming through the
shoots.
door?
Yeah, who's going for the door? And then Detective Matthews shoots Riggs, and then Riggs shoots the attorney, and just everybody dying. Heads were getting smashed by blocks of ice, which that was fucking cool.
Yes, it was.
No pun intended, but that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%, dude. That was pretty badass. And the effects there. Now, it was unfortunate because Matthews was my boy, and I didn't want to see him die like that. But at the same time, it was pretty badass. And it's one of my favorite kills of the franchise, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. So we'll definitely be getting into that for sure.
Most definitely. But that's it on positives for me, man.
All right. So do you have any mixes?
No, I'll just go straight to the negs.
All right, let's go straight to the negatives. For me, for the most part, the traps.
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't into a lot of the traps that they displayed in this movie.
I wasn't either. I found them to be this movie is really where you kind of focus more less on story and more so making things gross and nasty and just doing as much of that as possible. I thought, I mean, they did that a little bit obviously in 2 and 3, but then now like this way, like this is where you start to see like the CGI stuff, because up until this point I don't really recall seeing any CGI. But
yeah, at the beginning of the 4th one where they are like it tied between the chains and all that, and then he gets that good old smack, and you can tell it was the CGI blood.
Yeah, that was unfortunate too, because I really liked that trap, and it just the ending of it was kind of hokey and weird. And there's a couple other little sequences too where you have some fake blood, and it just doesn't look good. And yeah,
and
man,
then you have the and the like the girl and the guy like with the whole like poles stuck right there.
Yeah,
like that trap didn't do much. That trap didn't do much for me. Even though I thought the hair chair, kind of like know, I thought that was pretty cool. I'm surely he could have found something in that room where they cut the hair. Yeah. Like I was saying, like the first great thing was to go try and find a knife, but damn, like you could have had something else.
That one to me was just kind of silly too, because like obviously the twist at the end of it was that she's going to try to kill him, but like what? And that's another thing. Like these traps are really starting to get a little bit too complex in this movie. I thought like just a little bit more. They're cool to kind of turn your mind off and sit through them. Like I don't have any issues with it, but when you think about it, it's like there's way too much up to chance in all of these. Like he's especially the main one, right? But this one in particular, like just because you have these pictures here doesn't mean that he's gonna take you to jail. He's obviously preoccupied. Like maybe you can see how things are going to go before you take the knife out and try to kill the guy. Like that was the only motivation she had to kill the guy, which I'm sure he probably would have. But at the same time, it's like he just saved your life. So I mean, I could see that going either way. I just that to me was just leaving too much up to her.
Yeah.
And whenever, of course, he's like, oh yeah, you got to kill this guy or he's going to use these pictures against you, which, probably he probably would have, and he should have. But at the same time, like, he's not going to do it today because he's got freaking bigger things going on. So you can go get out of here and just go hide somewhere if you want.
Yeah. Go back your own way. And, and the other trap too is like the hotel trap.
Yeah. That one was crazy though.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like, we'll get to that here in a minute for our like favorite traps, maybe. But for me on that one, it's kind of like, well, shoot, I could either get my eyes stabbed and all that, or I could just try to take a bullet and take this guy out. Like either way, I'm going to die. But just which way do I have a better chance of survival?
Yeah, seriously.
But I'm with you for the most part with these traps. Like, I don't think they focus on the story whatsoever, and I like when these traps are focused on the story.
Right, and these to an extent they're still there to serve the story because Rig.
Yeah, it's like 50-50.
Yeah, and I mean it's not as bad as you get in Saw 5 where it's completely almost pointless. But like in this one, it's like, I don't know. I just feel like they just put these things out to have a trap every 10 minutes, just like in Friday the 13th to kill every 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Like you got to do that. And that's fine. But I was just like, I prefer the pacing a little bit more of some of the other movies and whatnot. But at the end of the traps are cool, but a lot of them just weren't really needed to serve, to go forward.
To serve the plot of the story.
And I get it at this point, like, you got to start doing different things. But like I said, my biggest thing about the traps is not the traps themselves because they were kind of cool, but like how complex and how up to chance some of the stuff was. Like you're telling me like you're going to give Matthews this one bullet to shoot somebody coming through a door. He doesn't even know. He wouldn't have even known what was going to happen to him if the lawyer didn't go, oh, you better hope he doesn't come through the door. It wasn't ever a part of the game. Like if he didn't look around and say that, Matthews would have never even thought about shooting the guy. And then he's got one bullet to make a lethal shot. He could have shot him anywhere. He could have shot him literally anywhere with that one bullet. And, and he's hung up by his neck. He's not going to have a shot. Like, it's just a lot up the chance there in the main thing. Which is fine. Like, again, you can turn your mind off. You can enjoy it. Still a fun ending by any means. But my least favorite kill of this thing, though, was they're sitting there freaking dusting for prints in the rod room, and that random ass rod shoots off and that was like the random rod shoots off and kills the forensic lady for no reason, and it was like it was so silly.
But that was a random ass trap, like I'm with you. I didn't get that. I feel like that was totally unnecessary. That's just to add to the body count of the movie. And
it was just weird, man. But I don't know.
I don't know either. And then, and sometimes the story was interesting a lot of the time. I was invested in it. But to me, if you're not really paying attention, you can get really lost real quickly.
Yeah,
because it was going all over the place. I feel like they stood to the main story, but like all these little side stories and all that, trying to combine it, it's just to me too much at times.
Yeah, it can be. Overall, I thought this is a good entry. I enjoy it. I don't want to like the traps. They were still good. They were still fun. But at the end of the day, this is just where you kind of get more complex, which again is, But that's it, man. I mean, I don't have much else to say really about it. But
yes, I'm with you on that one. So before we get to the ratings, you want to do our segment for this Saw review series on our favorite traps?
Yes.
All right, what is your favorite trap in this movie?
Mine is the one at the beginning, the opening with Art Blank and the other bald guy. I thought that one's really cool. It's a good concept of having some dude with his mouth shut and another dude with his eyes shut and unable to communicate because of that. And having to, I mean, if they could have just worked together, it would have been easy, but like they couldn't because of something so simple. I love that aspect of it.
Yeah.
I don't like the CGI as much, but I thought it was a cool idea. Even though it kills me every time because after the trap's over, he rips his mouth open and I'm like, you could have just done this 5 minutes ago. But anyway,
yeah, like, what the hell, man? But, that's a great point. I really honestly didn't think about that. But would we actually count the Detective Matthews as a trap?
yeah.
Yeah, because that's my favorite. Just like the result of it, of just the stakes of it, and just the cinematography shot of the ice like destroying his head.
Yeah.
To me, that's one of the most memorable moments in the Saw franchise, and so I'm going with that trap easily.
Yeah, that's a good point too. That's a fantastic one. I didn't even think about including it. That does remind me though, real quick, before we get to the rating, I will have to throw a little credit to that reveal of Hoffman being the bad guy there.
Yes,
I didn't mention it before, but it was a fantastic twist, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just the way they just went about everything. Because first time I watched it, I wasn't expecting Hoffman to be the bad guy.
Yeah, I wasn't either, man. I totally, I was a sucker. They suckered me in and they freaking twisted my arm and they made it happen. But yeah, dude, you want to score it out?
Yeah, let's score it out. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. I had a really great time with it, with the story and all that, but some of like this, again, at times the story got a little bit too complicated and the traps weren't as meaningful, except for the Detective Matthews one. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much. I really got nothing. It's just one of those movies. Just either you take it as it is and have a good time with it, or you're really not going to enjoy it. So 4 out of 5 for me.
Right on, man. I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. Great time, great oldies. Not my favorite in the franchise, but definitely not my least favorite.
Mm-hmm. And so that I'll save everybody my math schematics here. So I'm just going to say that's just a good old trip to the Tosche station to go get some good old power converters.
But I was going into Tosche Station to pick up some power converters.
Right, you are.
Alrighty, so that we're at the halfway point, my friend, of this Saw review series. You think we can handle the next 4?
Absolutely, we can.
And so how are we going to get to the next 4? Well, let's do it by wrapping up this video. So, guys, what did you all think about Saw 4? Did you have a really good time with this movie? Or, in your opinion, is this one the bottom 4 of your Saw ranking? Let us know in that comment section down below, and let's get that discussion rolling.
And if you want to find the good reels, you can do so by finding us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd, Snapchat, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Those links are in the description down there. Just don't get lost.
Yeah, definitely don't get lost or make any wrong turns. Just also be sure to like this video, share, and subscribe because it does help out our channel so we can continue doing awesome series reviews like this one. And of course, ring that bell. Ding, ding, ding. That Tobin bell. Ding, ding, ding. So you know when the next game is up and ready. Yeah, you didn't think I was going to do a pun in this one. Ha! I got you. Game over.
We're going to play another game with you guys real soon. Can't wait to do it. Stay safe and play more.
Be safe, guys.